In today's video, I'm going to be rating monster trucks by their looks. So obviously, I can't do every monster truck that's ever been made. So I just chose, like some of my favorites or, just like the most unique ones. And you're probably wondering why there aren't any Gravedigger or Bigfoot or anything. I will be doing separate videos on those, just because there's so many, I can't fit them all in here. And plus, for some of like the trucks in here, Jurassic Attack or stuff like that, I just count those all as one, just because I'm not gonna put the purple one and the blue one in there. So to start out, we're gonna go with Diablo. So this is a pretty unique truck. I mean, it is a little cartoonish, but it's a pretty unique design. So I'm gonna put it at a A. Oh, by the way, S is the best and D is the worst. So now we have Bounty Hunter. Bounty Hunter was always one of my favorites. And, it was one of, like, the original good trucks. And it's had a lot of good designs over there. And recently, with its, smaller body where the shocks are sticking through, I think it's pretty cool. So I think I'll probably put this at an S. So the next one is Samson. This, in my opinion, was always a pretty cool truck with the big muscles out front. And I like the name, and I always thought it was a cool truck. But, once again, a little cartoonish, so I think we'll put it at an A. I guess we should probably be going from Sting, but Sting, I'm a little bit of a fanboy for Sting. I love the the designs that look like cars instead of trucks, so I'm gonna put this one in an S. And then I did put all the different monster mutts in. So first we have Dalmatian. This is always a pretty cool one, but not my favorite. So I'm probably gonna put it at a B, just because I prefer once again like the more realistic trucks. Then Junkyard Dog. I know this one wasn't around for very long, it was canceled, but I think it's one of the better looking ones, so I'll put it at an A. And then once again, Rottweiler. Rottweiler was probably my favorite monster mutt, so I'll also put that at an A. Then we have Dragon. This was a pretty cool one, just because, it has the flames coming out of its nose, but once again, cartoony. Even though, there's some cool monster trucks like that, I just think the real ones look better. Now we have Soldier Fortune Black Ops. I gotta put this one in an S. Ever since Soldier Fortune came out, I've been a fan of it just because it looks so cool. Then next up, we have Megalodon. I'm probably gonna put this one at a C just because I'm not a big fan of how it looks. Then we have Max D. So I just have this design of it. This one's gotta be put at an S, All the spikes on top. It's pretty cool. Then we have Kraken. So I absolutely love the Cadillac Escalade / Chevy Suburban style bodies, but since that's a big octopus at the back, I'll put it at I wish it was in between A and B, so I'll just put it at A. Then we have Prowler. As a kid, this was one of my all-time favorites, and personally, I think it's a pretty cool, Prowler, Pouncer, all of those, so I gotta put it up here. So next we have Higher Education. Once again, I might have to put this on S just because it's so unique. I don't think there's ever been another monster truck like this. Now we have, I think that's the ice version of Monster Mutt. I don't know what they call it with the purple. I'm going to have to put this one at a C just because it doesn't actually look like a dog or anything. And next we have, I think that's Scarlet Bandit. Yeah. This is I always thought it was a cool one, back when it was all pink and stuff. So I'm going to put this one at an S also. Next we have Black Stallion. For me, that's an automatic S. This is just one of my all-time favorite trucks too. Next we have Boss Gator. Some of the older designs of this truck that I liked better, but now that it's just an alligator, I'm going to have to put it with a C too, because it kind of fits in with Megalodon and stuff like that. Next we have Gas Monkey Garage. This is probably my favorite newest truck, even though he stopped competing. Once again, you just don't see many cars, and I think it's really cool. Now we have USA 1. This was always, the big competitor with Bigfoot, and they've had a lot of good designs over the year. So I'm going to have to put this one at an S. And also, when I do the Gravedigger Bigfoot one, I might also do one for USA 1, because they've had a lot of different trucks. Now we have Brutus. This was always a pretty cool truck, in my opinion. It's still animal-like, but I don't think it's as bad as Megalodon, so I'll put it at a B. Then we have Bulldozer. This is just the older El Toro Loco, and personally I like El Toro Loco, so I'll put this one in an A. Now we have Alien Invasion. This was always a pretty unique truck. With the lights on and everything. So I'll put it at an A also. Now we have Venom. I don't think this truck ever competed in Monster Jam, but it does look pretty cool. I like the colors on it. So I'll put it at an A also. Now we have the El Toro Loco Black. Once again, I don't have all the colors on here. So I think I'll just go for... Yeah, I'll put it at an A too. Now I have Goldberg. I love Goldberg. This was, I think, Max D's second truck. First he drove Monster Patrol. It's more just like a unrefined version of Max D, so I'm gonna have to put this at an S also. Now we have Monster Patrol. I absolutely love Monster Patrol. Personally, I think the second gen Ram was the best body style, but I have the picture of the Chevy Silverado on here. It's so unique with the big wing and everything, so I'll have to put it on S. Next we have Metal Militia. This is one of the trucks that I really hope would come back, just because I always thought it was a cool truck, but the body is kind of plain, so, I mean, I would put it an S, but just like compared to all the other trucks, it's probably an A. Next we have Medusa. So, obviously it's pink and kind of girlish, but she was a pretty good driver because she had the world finals, so I'll put it at an A. And I just realized I put both, I put two images of Jurassic Attack here. I always thought Jurassic Attack was pretty cool when I was little, so I think I'll put it in A. It's pretty unique, but I'll just put both pictures up there. Now we have Doomsday. Doomsday was one of those trucks where, it was meant to be like mysterious and everything, kind of like an Escalade back in the day. So I think this is a pretty cool truck. It has the same body style as the NEA plays. So I'll put it in S. I think that's pretty cool. Now we have Carolina Crusher. This truck has quite a few body styles. It's a pretty cool truck overall, but the paint is pretty plain, so I'll put it in A. Now we have, I forgot the name of it, but this truck, or this body style, has had a few different names. When you look at it with like the teeth and everything, it's pretty cool, so I think I'll put it at, once again, I wish there was like in between A and B, so I think I'll put it at a B. Now we have Blue Thunder. This was kind of like one of the all-time cool guys, so I think I'll have to put it in S. Excuse me. Now we have Mad Scientist. Once again, I absolutely love the like Cadillac Escalades, but it's not the coolest design, so I'll put it at an A. Now we have Reptoid. This is my all-time favorite monster truck. I don't know why, but ever since I was little, it's just my favorite. So I gotta put this one in an S. Alright, now we have Captain's Curse. I always thought this was a pretty cool truck just because it had, that 40s design to it, which you don't see on a lot of trucks. So I think I'll put it at an A. And then Raminator. Ram trucks are my favorite, but once again, the body isn't that decorated, so I'll put it at an A. Now we have Stone Crusher. For that body style of Ford on monster trucks, I'm a sucker for those. And it has a pretty cool, design with all like the flames and stuff on it, so I'll put it in S. Now we have Avenger. Once again, an automatic S. It's just one of my favorite trucks overall. It's been around for a long time. He's one of the best. So now we have the Lucas Oil Stabilizer semi-truck. I would put this at an A just because, we've almost never seen like a monster truck on the American circuits. It's a semi-truck. We've almost never seen one of those on the American circuits. But I feel like they could put a little bit more effort into it, so I'll put it at an A. And then we have Lucas Oil Crusader. I got to see this guy compete at the Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. And, since it's an Escalade, and I think it has a really cool design on it, so I'll put it at an S. Now we have Superman. I always thought this was a pretty cool truck, but, it's kind of plain, but it's cool. It has a cape and everything, so I'll put it in A. Now we have Inferno. Once again, this is probably one of my all-time favorites. I always thought it was pretty cool with the flames and stuff, and this truck goes way back, so I'll put it in S. Now we have Cowboy. I don't think this truck was around for very long, but I don't really know a lot on this truck, so, I'll put it at a B just because it's kind of plain. Now we have Backdraft. I always like this truck, Once again, it's pretty unique. We've never seen, like a truck sort of like this with like the actual like utility bed on the back. So I thought that was pretty cool. Back in the day, Crazy Train, that was also one of my favorites from way back when. So I'll have to put this at an S just because we've never really seen something like that. Now I have the Patriot. Back when I was like 5 years old, I had a model of this truck, and it was just always my favorite. It's American flag and everything, so that's pretty cool. So I think I have to put it at an S also. Now we have the Rizoline Defender. I think that's how you say it. I thought this was a pretty cool truck. Has like some red and splashes on it, but it's not the coolest, so I think I'll put it in A. Now we have the Boogie Van. This is like my favorite like older monster truck, like from like the 90s and late 80s. I love Ford Aerostar, so I think I'll have to put it in S. Now we have Pure Adrenaline. I love this truck. I'm not sure why, but I'm a little bit of a fanboy for this truck, so let's put it in S. Now we have Titan. This is a pretty cool truck. It has the black flames, the bright yellow, and they've had some pretty cool designs, so I think I'll put that at an S. Now we have Backwards Bob. So this is easily one of the most unique trucks ever in Monster Jam. Just the way the body's set up. But, it doesn't have like the coolest paint job, so I think I'll put it in A, even though it's pretty unique. Now we have the USA Air Force truck. Once again, this is pretty cool, just, like paying homage to the Air Force. But, it doesn't have the coolest design, so I think we'll put it in A again. Now we have Spider-Man. This was driven by Zombie's driver before he made Zombie. And, I like the body style of it, but, it's just the Spider-Man trucks. So I think I'll put it in a B. Now we have Captain America. Sort of the same. I wasn't a huge fan of the Marvel trucks, or like superhero trucks, so I think I'll also put it at a B. But Iron Man. Personally, I thought this was probably like the coolest body out of all of them. So I think I'll put it in A. And also Iron Man is my favorite superhero. Now we have Wonder Woman. Once again, not the coolest, so I'll put it at a B. I have Western Renegade. I think I got to see this truck compete once when I was really little. I'm not sure, but you don't really see a lot of Hummers around and monster trucks, so I think I'll put it in S. Now we have a Wild Thing. This was always a pretty cool, obviously a wild truck. Always had some cool designs on it, so I think I'll put it in S. I'm not sure why, but it's just pretty cool. Now we have Prowler and Predator next. Once again, I love these like big cat trucks from back in the day. So I'm going to put both of these up on S to go with Pouncer. Now I have Crustacean. This was a pretty cool truck. One of the more unique designs. So I think I'll put it in A. I think I'll work up from the bottom though. Now we have Thugger. So this was actually the successor to the truck Ain't Got No Body. Back when it was Ain't Got No Body, I think it had like one of like the coolest chassis designs, just because since it didn't have a body, they needed to make the chassis pop. So, but now that when they put the body on it, I thought the body was pretty cool. So I'll put it in A. Now we have an Escalade. I always thought that this truck was pretty cool, just because I love Escalades, and you don't see a lot of trucks that are like just plain with no sponsors. So I think I'll put it in S. Then we have Rockstar. This is one of the most unique trucks, just because it had such a short chassis. And I played with this truck in the video game MTD a lot. You guys probably know about that. And I always thought it was pretty cool. So I think I'll put this one at an S too, just because it's so unique. And then we have War Wizard. Automatic S for me, because like I said, I love these like the body designs that are more like cars. So I thought that one was pretty cool, because it's kind of like the truck Sting. Now we have Zombie. I'm going to have to put this one at a C. He's a really good truck, but I've never been a huge fan of, like the whole arm thing. So now we have Jester. This truck, it's mid, but since it's an Escalade, I think I'll put it in A. He also had a few different colors. He had green, red, blue. I think he might have had purple and orange, I'm not sure. Now we have Temper Tantrum. This truck was pretty cool back in the day. He's had a few different designs, but I think I'll put it in A just because not all of them were the best. Now we have Overkill Evolution. Once again, I just love like the Ford pickup truck designs, and I love like the blue, purple, and black together. So I think I gotta put this one in an S. Now we have Brodozer. This was a pretty cool truck. You know, coming from the Diesel Bros. We've never really seen a truck like this, but since it has such a plain body, I think I'll put it at an A. Now we have Mohawk Warrior. The driver from this also drove this one in Escalade. It's pretty cool, but with the Mohawk and everything, I think I'll put it at an A. Now we have the Firestone truck. This truck has been around for a while, sported a number of different bodies. So I think I'll put it at an A too. It's not the coolest, but it's not the worst. Then we have Scooby-Doo. This was never my favorite truck, so I think we'll put it at a B. And there we have it. That is all the trucks. So, I think that's pretty good. So, let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching.